The technical definition of a habit is a behavior that has been repeated enough times to be more or less automatic. So things that you can do pretty much without thinking about them. Unplugging your toaster after each use, or tying your shoes, or brushing your teeth. Things that you pretty much just go on autopilot when you do them. Now, why does the brain build them? What role does it play? Well, as you go through life, you need energy to survive. And this is true not just for humans, but for all organisms need some kind of energy to survive. And getting energy requires energy. You need to eat food to be able to walk around and find the next meal. And using energy is expensive because the more energy you use, the less you have available for the other things that life throws at you. And so your brain is looking for ways to conserve energy whenever possible. And habits are a great method for doing that. So for example, when our ancestors were roaming around the savannah, if there was a berry patch 100 meters from you, it made sense to go to that berry patch rather than one that was like on the other side of the mountain, right? You would choose the path of least resistance. And eventually, what your brain learns is, oh, whenever I'm by this tree, that means the berry patch is 100 meters away. And so the tree becomes a signal that, hey, food is over there. And your brain is always picking up on these signals throughout life that indicate where things are at. And the more that you come across those signals, the more you automate your response, and pretty soon you're taking a right when you get to that tree, even though you're not even thinking about it, you're just doing it automatically. And it makes that whole process of finding energy, solving the problems of life, and getting through things easier. It requires less energy and attention and effort than it did before. And that's true not just for things like finding food, which is essential for our survival, but also for daily tasks, because all these daily tasks take energy as well. So something like tying your shoes, your brain learns the context of when I have a shoe on my foot and the shoestring is untied, that means I do this little routine where I tie the shoelace into a knot and so on. And the first time you do it, it takes energy, but after you do it 100 times or 1,000 times or 10,000 times, pretty soon you're doing it just like turning right at the tree. You can have a conversation with somebody else or listen to a podcast or think about your to-do list for the day. You free up that energy and attention to be used elsewhere. And you have, this is perhaps the biggest thing that they do, you have less wasted energy. Rather than fumbling with the laces and trying hard to do it, you can do it more quickly and fluently, and that saves you energy and time for the next task. And the funny thing is, we're building them all the time, but a lot of people don't feel like they have control over their habits. They feel like their habits are taking control of them, that they're like a victim of these bad routines. And once you start to dive in a little bit and like uncover the layers and realize what a habit is and how it works, then you start to develop a little more control over it. And I think if we're going to be building habits anyway, then it makes more sense to be able to understand how they work and how to structure them so that you can be the architect of your habits rather than the victim of them.